there's problems for Captain, and actually gets away scot-free for now. Surely there's someone deal with Captain. He's alive on 10 HP. Finally, Koi clear the site. Spike's gonna go down to the last two.
Okay, I was gonna say, Starzo was eating that snake bomb. It was actually the nano swarm to finish things off. On to Kiwi now. Themselves with a 2v3. Cold Mentor and Shadows tagged up. And C-Trex will fall as well.
It's so individual, one by one. Fortunate enough, left to reload, so had to get the job done. But
look at the HP.
Is in a good spot. 4 HP for him on the other side, but walking wounded. The time's running so low. 9 seconds, 6 seconds now. It's dwindling. Needed one more bullet to hit.
I'm with you.
Go ahead. I'm ready to see it. Now they've heard a lot of this. Let's see if they can keep it clean. So far, Wolfen starts building up. Yeah. Good so far. Down to Kiwi and Cracks, but they've both been noted, so falling back seems near on impossible. No, the Wolfen is keeping them boxed in. And maybe looking to get certain ults on Miser. Yeah, farm through.
Just based on this.
Yeah, and Fut are still keeping the cards close to their chest. Unable to identify who's on the back of the site here. Yes, they know the Fade's sitting around somewhere, but there's a whole lot more pressure where that came from. Unable to secure the spike plant either. Now for that second try of it, this time it's down. Cold Mentor going to try and control over towards that corner of Maze, but Cold Mentor's in a bit of a dangerous predicament here, Mike.
Yes, actually, yeah, Shadows has got a massive position here.
This is sick, and good for a second as well. That Bulldog brought to bear, and now Cracks. And Captain's still alive, it ain't over yet, and now it is.
Got a lot to work with here. Trex trying to find a spam kill initially. Fut got to wait out this Viper as well. Actually, as I say that, Captain looking to get ahead of it. Tap out for some utility, but Wolfen finds it.
Yeah, very nice. But they're starting to run out of time now. This is, yes, the end of the utility for the post farm, but still no progress made on the spike, and Koi re-emerging towards the site, clearing as they go. Kiwi going to find one on the way. Can't make it out though. They're actually losing a couple of these towards that A site. They're actually going around with the Prowler now. That's a shot! And Captain snaps Trex's head off. That's massive. And that Prowler had been used in the past. It noted, I think, last time around Wolfen or someone. But regardless, this is a totally different look. They worked with intent behind it, and I love seeing that. But the adjustment on the way back in. Koi looking to flank through middle. This time, Mr. Fallen wants to show off a little bit of that aim as well. Finds Cold Mentor. One by one, Koi being picked apart.
Yeah, spotted Wolfen as well. See the ping coming through a second. Peek there for Mr. Fallen. Actually, Wolfen didn't spot it. Awkward engagement here. Will be caught on the retreat. With the help from Modge on the way.
Yeah, lovely. Kept his composure all that time, didn't overstep. He knew that there was going to be aggression or at least space taken on the A side of the map, so he just had to be that angle, which was playing perfectly. Now the last two, well, excuse me, last one, Shadows, a 1v5, quite the task. Probably not going to happen.
It's a good positive. Talking about the early concerns on the side of Fut, actually so early on, the adjustment here is to try and punish that slow approach I was talking about. Yes, not the typical default we would see, but if Fut's response is to actually isolate an opening engagement, again, the lack of a duelist in the
sitting towards kitchen, so you get a fairer fight towards A. Are they going to go aggressive this time? No, so they can go back to worked if they have that utility still in play. They do. Starzo's still there, Trex is the knife, still got Wolfen, yes, no Aldrome, but still quite a lot to clear this site. And as you noted, gets called in. Now the site's in trouble. They have to relinquish any sort of fight on this one. Want to see if anyone tries to linger around? Absolutely not. So yeah, this should be, as they should, a relatively safe plant. Looks like we're going to have the odds coming back in, and actually Starzo's gone down. How the hell did that happen?
It's the Snake Fire and the Nanoswarm combo.
Huge setup, and now the problem is time. They don't have enough of it.
It's done. It's literally done. Again, Fut approaches perfectly. You're only really looking for some chip damage off that utility. That execution there for Fut, you have to be calling. Let's play retake. But Starzo again, sitting inside, tanking some of that dash, something much earlier, and they want to try and draw this utility out now. Very different execution though. Cracks will find Cold Mentor ahead of the hit.
They're willing to challenge this time around. I want to see if the plan comes off cleanly. That has been the consistent problem now. We haven't seen them in a safe post plan since the very start of this game. The spam coming in, Starzo. What are you going to do with it? Once again, the test of time. Fut holding just enough of the space. They have that gateway back towards the site this time around. There is no utility to confirm the kill. The bullet almost did it.
Yeah.
And now the lockdown just to give themselves even more time. Force the hand of footballers. And then they're going for it. They have to find a challenge. Big shot from Starzo. Backs away. 33 HP, and that's all he's got to work with. Tap on the spike first time, Cove's there. A little bit of safety on this one, they gotta get to work here. Falling can tank another. Gets off it though. Doesn't receive the second hit. They do have the half. 3v3 though, still at a captain on defensive duty. Defuse someone! No one can stop it. Again, Fut coming up with the answers. This time they have the plant, Mike. They got that one step further. Next layer comes in.
As soon as that lockdown gets destroyed, you know that you've completely given up side control. I think right there, Fut have made the perfect decision. Get that half defuse as early as possible, because you know that they're going to rely on the next thing. Again, another aspect of this composition, the Hunter's Fury, to play this post plant. Beautifully done by Fut.
Very impressive.
There's so much time in between the ultimate and any pressure coming back towards that initial cove that goes on. This is also another thing to consider. Koi have been forced into a close path that they can't actually play these deep angles. And yes, they can play utility, but once that wave's gone, if Fut have taken deep enough control in front of the spike, it's so hard to prevent that defuse.
So it's now worked down the scoreline as well. 3-4 now, closing that gap significantly. And an early test. Now, still able to fashion a purchase though this time.
But they're probably assuming this is Kiwi solo once again, because that's all it's been previously.
They haven't seen Fallen yet.
They'll hear him now.
That should be pretty indicative. Ooh, and fortunate to keep his life. Both sides, if anything, can't get away so cleanly, and actually just straight through the wall. Trex has got Fallen, maybe overstaying as well.
You can see the frustration there. I think Fallen trying to apply a little bit of pressure for Kiwi to get away. And Koi should try and secure this kill.
Wolf and go on this. Okay. Ooh, dear. The answer. Again, the pressure on these spike plants is huge. There's no comfort in this. They still don't have the spike down. They have still now bodies on the site here. You've got all that utility starting to cycle back through. Time being bought. The map starts to feel small. You fought for that site and you don't have it anymore.
Still got a lockdown to play with as well. 30 seconds left. Starzo's still got the cove. Again, definitely doesn't feel comfortable. Still 2 snake bites as well for Atta Captain.
There we go. There's the lockdown.
Beautiful timing. Beautiful timing on the lockdown.
Yeah. There's nothing to be done, really. They've got to deal with this. There's so little to achieve here. Kiwi starting to pick them off. Trex goes down. Cove's in place. No spike to be planted. They are absolutely screwed. Coldamenta desperate to try and defend this. But with 8 seconds, what choice do they have? Scrap it out. Brawl it out. Spike can't do anything. It's too late. Fut again showing off. They have perfect composure. Stanzo variety being explored by Fut. Already going to try and invest Kiwi down towards tubes, showing off a little bit of difference. And gets banged out by Coldamenta. Alright, well that's how you start it, Mike. There's your duelist. It's actually Viper. And Coldamenta playing it. So, at this point though, I don't think they've realised, I guess they're trying to figure out what success they've just found with Kiwi being there. Who's been pulled on to B? Where is this additional player?
I mean, I'm happy to see this drone come through, because as I say, on the back of that opener, you want to see some decisiveness here from Koi. Capitalise on that.
See him posting up in the site.
And Shados actually will backfill that first blood towards
like that. Even just a little bit of a nuisance here, just even hearing this utility is fine. I hope that this is going to draw that additional player back.
Finds a turret, I think, with the nanoswarm, or at least the alarm blade did find it.
Did get it. So it's kept that player there. So it is a 4v3 on the site, and a captain good for one though. Doesn't have to slip away just yet. Cracks, fights, Trex, and there's no complementary trades. There's nothing, it's so individual. Divide and conquer, and Stars are the only one really able to try and make something out of it, but it's futile. That was, I think they answered some of the questions there, but then trying to take the site, they failed.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, the one obstacle that really breaks us apart is Fut hitting every shot they need to.
Yeah.
When the side hit comes through, because Shados has timed this to perfection. Actually trying to create some pressure towards Tube.
It doesn't. That was the first time we've seen it, and they tried to then exploit that, a little bit of an adjustment, but Kiwi again, different position here, and that actually doesn't. No, Kiwi able to get away with it. Stands tall. Gonna take down Coldamenta, and a second. Kiwi now
Nearly lined
starting
them up.
to fly through this round. A little bit of a wall in place, gives him time to readjust, find another angle. He's confident with it, and I don't blame him to be. The flash through the wall highlights someone else is there. This time does get caught, but 3 big kills. Kiwi having so much impact already. And Starzo and Trex barely finding safety off to the back of that, barely able to hold on towards Yellow. There's already rotations in play.
Actually, again, a ton of decay coming through. For Starzo to reconsider this, now actually regaining some HP. Does have his ultimate. Trex has to be on red alert here.
Last player
Actually,
standing.
he's perfect there with the feel, and actually Trex finds one, but Mod's good for the trade. And Koi here, I think, just like, yeah, we found the op. Again, is he solo? Let's try it, let's roll the dice.
Find out.
but it takes him so...
Mentor, but again, isolated. Trex lucky with that. He was on his own. And the captain does go down, and this time they do have a little bit more side control. 3 players here ready for it though, Kiwi a mile away.
Yeah, first time Ata actually tries to get a little bit of damage ahead of even getting towards that utility wave. Starzo immediately spammed off that cove. But open plant this time. Much more comfortable for Koi here.
He's away.
Do have the Reckoning, it's invested very early on here.
Oh, and the ults come through at the same time. We've got a couple of ults being invested into this. Kiwi just striding back in there, just falling like flies. How the hell is this happening? Diffuse started.
Mistake one didn't land.
No. Oh no, you gotta challenge this. The diffuser has been dealt with. Okay, a 2v2 now. Swing, double face. Moshe's got caught Mentor. It's just one. Shados needs to be ice cold. He's got one. Oh, and he's got the second. Shados. Incredible at handling it. Gets curious. Doesn't kill the cat, kills Shados this time. Brazen to try and go for that when we know that Kiwi has been happy to deal with this B-long area.
Note him close with the knife as well. And there's nobody ahead of Shados, so it's... I don't know.
It's upset you, has it?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll move on, don't worry.
Starzo's dead here. Oh. See him clearing down towards barrels and nobody actually swinging for belt there.
Okay, forced away. Nothing's been really... Ooh, the spam. There shouldn't be like a direct threat to life here. I'm looking to see if anything's going to do it. No, it's fine. So we actually do see the post spawn, and they're not sitting super deep. They haven't fully backed away from the site this time. Actually committing to the fight on the side, which is precarious to say the least. Still some utility to play with, and Trex is absolutely deleted. Mosh is there, and he's actually got another Cold Mentor, just looks ineffective in this. Lockdown comes in, so Starkster, what are you going to do? Stand and fight or try and back away? Orphan, similar predicament. They've got nothing to play with in this. Starkster is going to have to relinquish this round. He has to respect this as best he can try. It doesn't matter. And a captain seals it, signs it, delivers it. I've got to say...
Well, it'll make sense for the operator to purchase early on. Have to wait and see.
Work off the back of that Prowler. Really enjoyed that. Wolfen happy to put his life on the line though. Will overstep almost. Not going to get much more though. Timing good for Stark, so... He had to hit that. Gotta hit that one. Complimentary Shados though. What are you going to do with it? Time ticking. Yeah, ain't hit. Alright, fair enough. Scoreline should update. Should.
This is wide open B side here. Now I think the penny dropping Shados looking back this direction, anticipating a lurk. Again, got to assume the obvious that somebody's capitalized on this gap in the Koi defense, and there you go, confirmed.
Lovely. That's really nice as well, considering that's an anti-eco. Keeping the heads about them, easy to be almost bullish in approach, right? Like be almost too committed to just taking on that A side, but lovely little fake coming out there. 3-2 split on it, and then eventually fell back. Tap on the spike, and the first parts of utility started to be invested. Golden Mentor though, gonna find out a captain. Slight challenge towards yellow. Now this is where it could get dicey, the reveal being the Death Star, so happens to back down to really what looks like insurmountable odds, and it
We
is.
got that adjustment for a second there, but it's actually fallen to find it.
Taken Stark so happy for it, and does get rewarded. Good trade though, and it's gone back and forth. And now the problem is that Fut actually in a 3v3 looked pretty good
Atta's
for
here
him.
so early.
How did he get here so fast? And now the side's all theirs. Safe plant gonna come in. No one can really have any threat to life in this. And now the post plant, what do we have? A little bit more bite to it, and a captain still has utility to play with.
Again, this 2 for 2 doesn't really favour Koi in any way at all. It just so happens that Ata's managed to backfill that pressure perfectly. Kiwi in a position really to seal the deal here. Wall's going to go up, actually a little bit of space for him to swing ahead of this, but it's a wide open plant and nest.
Tap on the spike. There's the first. Second one coming in. And comfy for Kiwi. That was lovely combination work between the two. And Shados does find Fallen, but he has no say towards the spike here. Caught in the back. And Kiwi gonna punish.
Kiwi's up to like 19 and 7 by the way.
Is that was basically challenging at screens at that point, but here we go. Full purchase on either side. It's best they can achieve. It's quite the pivotal round. 10 to 5 hit, 10 for Fut, Koi with 5, and a scrappy challenge. I mean, unlucky to a degree. Coldamenta going to walk away the loser in that affair, but now that opens up opportunities. They've stripped away that safety in numbers. They are going to have to now respect that additional player who's a bit more dedicated, Shados, towards B.
And unfortunately, you do start asking the same questions that we did in the first, which is, if somebody's going to challenge first on Koi, there needs to be layers behind it to make sure that this util-heavy composition and approach to the game is protected. That right there is the sort of first blood you never want to see, ever.
Well, luckily, Shados, quite nasty. Gonna find out a captain. That's gonna bring back down to this 4v4, highly showcasing that this B site is the end goal. Do they commit towards this? They've got 30 seconds. And if they're just running it, I mean, oh my word, Trex in a good spot for this one. Gonna find Fallen, and he's got
It's too
support.
late already.
Yeah, the time's gone. Spike's down.
Attacker spawn.
And Kiwi, I mean, he can pop off and maybe find one, but even then, finding the other two, not gonna happen. This is lovely.
10
A little bit of a response, mostly in the hands of Shados. They're finding that second kill, kind of bringing it back in. Beautiful work, but dicey choices being made. I almost wanted to see Fut try and scrap it out on the site potentially.
Well, absolutely. With that kill coming through so early on, so Cove's been invested as well, so really concerning for Fut to actually convert this into a post plant. But lots of util dumped towards site here. Koi's inventory definitely suffering after that.
Another attempt
How
on
long's
the
this
spike
wall stay
plant.
up?
And they got it. Okay, Trex did draw blood at the same time, and a captain has gone down. So now the post plant is with 4. Cracks, Kiwi, Fall in, and Moj. Gonna lose out a little bit of that back line, and the fight's good from Fut though. Finding 3 kills quickly in succession. A tap on the spike will draw the utility, but time starting to dwindle. Starkzo needs that fight, wins it, but they lose out on Shados in the meantime, and now 1v2. Tap to try and draw the attention. He gets one, but only one. Moj, the final line of defense. Keep the round on their side. Throw them all in. One of them will work. All right. Lockdown. Gonna force them away, but we did see an early position from Moj towards middle, so that could be something to look towards. There he is, finally showing. Cove goes down, Spam comes in, and actually they're just still on the view. Starkzo yet to be denied. Still gonna be going through with this. What the hell just happened? Huh?
He didn't get it.
What? There's no way he didn't get that. That was absolutely on the money. How did he not get that? Mike, how did he not get that? How was that happening? I could not care less. Spike gonna be going down. Don't think there's anything to stop it. No, absolutely not. Backline though, gonna be challenged. Moj. Good for the first, but the trade comes in from Morphin. Needs to kind of follow this up, but it's such a fight. Look at it! So brutal! Fut gonna fight their way in. They leave just 2 alive. Trex and Starkzo. So, come on, Kiwi.
Look at this, the knives on the rope.
And it's done for.